I've come to Birmingham, and this particular area in the 19th century was well known as almost a slum. Poor back-to-back housing, people that lived here, worked here in a series of factories and workshops. But these streets are also famous because in the 19th century, this is where gangs like the Peaky Blinders would hang out. Became famous, of course, because of the hit TV show. And I've come to meet the historian from that period, Carl Chin. How you doing, Carl?
Hiya, Dan. Thank you for coming up to Birmingham.
No, pleasure. No, you are Mr. Peaky Blinders partly because you have some family history relationship with them.
Yeah, my great-grandfather Edward Derrick was a Peaky Blinder. The term comes into use in the late 19th century for members of slogging gangs, but by the late 1890s it's got a wider connotation, Dan, like hooligan in London, for violent men, whether or not they're in a gang. And unfortunately, my great-grandfather was such a violent man. He got done for assaulting the police and for assaults on other people. He was also a petty thief. On one occasion, he got arrested for stealing a side of bacon from outside of Port Butcher's. But he was also a wife beater, and he used to brutally abuse my great-grandmother Ada. Brutally abuse her. And so badly was she attacked by him that she would often run next door to old Mother Carey's house with her daughter, my grandmother Maisie, to hide from him because he wouldn't go in that house. She got 5 big sons, old Mother Carey. So he was an unsavoury and reprehensible man.
Well, you're here to tell me a bit more about these unsavoury, reprehensible people. These are the streets on which they lived and worked and fought.
They are the streets indeed. All around the old parts of Birmingham, Digbeth, Derry's End, Bordsley, Highgate, Aston, Ladywood, all those older parts of Birmingham where the gangs really ruled as a reign of the ruffian for 30 odd years.
First stop on the tour is a historic pub. Still standing, though unfortunately no longer in use. So this pub's been here for a while?
Yeah, it has been here for a while. It's called the Rainbow. It's on the corner of Adley Street and High Street, Bordsley. And Dan, this is the pub that is deeply connected with the use, for the first time in the press, of that dreaded term, Peaky Blinders.
You're kidding?
No.
So
what
this is where it all
happened was,
begins?
this is where it begins. Now, the term has probably been used on the street before, Dan.
Okay.
But it's the first time it's been used in the press. March the 23rd, 1890, a young man called George Eastwood goes into that bar. It's a long bar, and it's a big room. It's got a couple of small rooms at the back, and he's drinking a ginger beer. And he comes to the street just over there.
Okay.
He's a teetotaler.
Fair enough.
But he's having his quiet drink this Saturday night, and according to the Birmingham Mail on the Monday, 3 men with evil reputations went into the bar. One of them was called Thomas Mucklow, another one is his brother-in-law George Groom. They come out to this street, and there's a third man unknown. And they start to insult poor George for drinking a ginger beer.
Yeah.
And Mucklow pushes him and says, "What you're drinking that tack for? What you're drinking that rubbish for?" And there's a bit of argy-bargy, and he dies down. And according to the newspapers, about 11:15, George is left on his own in the pub. Mucklow, Groom and the unknown man leave. Now, they come out to that door and they disappear. 15 minutes later, George was thinking it's safe to come home. To get home, he's got to come out the pub, as we've just done now, walk along this street, underneath these 2 viaducts, and turn right up there, Dan.
Okay.
He never makes it.
Oh.
They come out of the darkness and they shout at him and chase him. He's got to be petrified. He starts to run.
Right here,
All along here he's running. It's all dark. Don't forget there have been workshops, factories, back-to-back houses all around here. And he's running. Now they get him and brutally assault him under one of these 2 viaducts. I think it's this viaduct, Dan. And the reason I think it's this one is that he manages to get up off the floor and run down the next street. He wouldn't have been able to do that from the far viaduct. So Mucklow is shouting, "Give it to him hot, lads." Groom then punches him, he goes down, they start kicking him about the street. Steel toe cap boots. And then Groom takes off his most feared weapon, his belt. Wrap the belt around the wrist, leaving about 8 inches.
Yeah.
Buckle the belt, heavy metal bolt. And then they slashed him and slashed him. Somehow, Dan, it's got to be fear. He jumps up and he runs down this street. Now over there Now an industrial setting was the back of a small school with a playground on the left. George has got to be in fear of his life. He jumps over the playground wall, runs through the playground, jumps over the far wall, turns left, bangs on the door of the first house. Mr. Turner must have been a kind man, let him in. By all accounts, for the next hour or so, Groom, Mucklow, the unknown man, are bawling and shouting outside, send him out, we're going to kill him. Eventually the police come, they run off. Mucklow's the only one who is arrested. 9 months hard labour. Groom gets away with it, so does the unknown man. Monday in the Birmingham Mail, it says this terrible attack was carried out by the gang of Peaky Blinders.
And where do they get that name from?
Well, the story is it's because they would put disposable safety razor blades into the peak of their caps and use them to slash across the forehead, hence causing blood to go in the eyes to blind them. The real story is much simpler than that. First of all, disposable safety razor blades were not patented by King Gillette in America until the early 20th century. They weren't sold in great numbers in England till just before the First World War, by which time the gangs had gone. Secondly, they couldn't afford these razor blades, they were too expensive. Thirdly, they didn't need them. They used their boots, their belts, they used knives, they used stones and bricks. And fourthly, it's not feasible. Because if I go to take the cap off like that, what am I going to do to my own fingers?
Yeah.
Cut them. If I go to the back, I've opened up my body to be smacked, haven't I? The real reason they're called Peaky Blinders, Dan. What's the peak of the cap doing?
Oh, it's blinding in one eye.
Yes, that's the fashion.
It's just a jaunty way of wearing it.
Yes, they had close cropped hair and lots of them had a quiff on the one side.
A quiff.
So they like to show the quiff off.
We've all been there.